Kim Ki-Taek's son Kang-Ho, an unemployed driver, lives with his wife Choong-Sook Jang Hye-Jin, son Ki-Woo Choi Woo-Shik, and daughter Ki-Jeong Park So-Dam in a shabby semi-basement apartment. The family struggles to survive, working low-paying gigs such as folding pizza boxes. Ki-Woo's friend Min-Hyuk Park Seo-Joon visits the family and gives them a large rock, supposed to bring them wealth, before he leaves to study abroad. He suggests Ki-Woo take over his job as an English tutor for the wealthy Park family's youngest daughter, Da-Hye Jung Ji-So. Min-Hyuk has feelings for Da-Hye and figures that she will be safe with Ki-Woo until he graduates college. In the lavish Park mansion, Ki-Woo is interviewed by Mrs. Park Choi Woo-Shik to tutor Da-Hye and is hired after Mrs. Park sees his talents as degrees, which were faked by his sister Ki-Jeong, who is a master at forgery. Learning of Mrs. Park's struggle to find an art teacher for her younger child, Da-Song, Ki-Woo suggests a professional named Jessica, who in reality is Ki-Jeong. Once hired, Ki-Jeong gets Mr. Park's Lee Sun-kyun driver fired by placing her panties in the back seat of the Mercedes he is in charge of, making it look like he was having an affair, and then replaced with her uncle Kim. The Kims soon get housekeeper Moon Kwang Lee Yong-yoon fired by manipulating the Park family into believing she has tuberculosis, exploiting her severe peach allergy to simulate symptoms. Choong-Sook is then hired in her place, employing the entire Kim family. Ki-Woo ends up kissing Da-Hye, and both are attracted to each other. The Parks go on an overnight camping trip, leaving the mansion in Choong-Sook's care. The Kings take the opportunity to have a drunken party in the mansion, during which Ki-Woo confesses to his family that he is in love with Da-Hye. In the middle of their celebration, Moon Kwang rings the bell and claims she came to retrieve something from the basement. The other Kims hide. Then Choong-Sook lets Moon Kwang in. Heading to the basement, the former housekeeper opens a secret bunker, revealing that her husband, Gyun-se Park Myung-hoon, has been hiding there for 4 years to avoid loan sharks. As Choong-Sook threatens to call the police, the rest of the Kims accidentally stumble into view. Moon Kwang quickly records footage of the new staff addressing each other as father and children, then threatens to send the clip to the Parks. The Parks call Choong-Sook to announce that the heavy rain has ruined their camping trip, and they will be home soon. The Kims scramble to confine Moon Kwang and Gyun-se, then clean up and hide while Choong-Sook prepares some food requested by Mrs. Park. Moon Kwang breaks free and runs up into the kitchen, but Choong-Sook pushes her down the basement stairs, severely wounding her head. While eating, Mrs. Park tells Choong-Sook that her son was traumatized one birthday by what he thought was a ghost coming up from the basement. He just saw Moon Kwang's husband coming into the kitchen from the basement stairs. Moon Kwang's husband is tied up by Ki-Taek, who reveals to him that he has been trying to communicate with Mr. Park via Morse code for several years. A light in the dining room has a switch in the basement, but Mr. Park never understood Morse code and hence never got the. After a few close calls, the other 3 Kims leave the mansion undetected. They run back to their apartment, which has been flooded by the storm. They salvage what they can. Ki-Woo carrying the large lucky rock Min-Hyuk gifted his family earlier. The 3, along with other displaced citizens, sleep in a gymnasium. Meanwhile, Moon Kwang dies from her concussion as Gyun-se cries. Before dying, she cuts off the tape that Ki-Taek had used to tie her husband up, thus freeing him. The following day, Mrs. Park throws a birthday party for Da-Song, Jang Hye-Jin and asks the Kims to come over and help with all the chores. The Kims are bummed as they feel that the Parks are totally oblivious to the lives of ordinary people. Ki-Taek is especially miffed when Mrs. and Mr. Park both make insensitive comments about air quality improving from all the rain the previous night. During the party, Ki-Woo carries the rock down to the bunker, intending to kill Gyun-se. Gyun-se ambushes Ki-Woo, cracks his head open with the rock, then crashes the party, where he stabs Ki-Jeong in the chest. Gyun-se's sudden appearance triggers Da-Song's traumatic memory, causing the child to have a seizure. Ki-Taek rushes to stop Ki-Jeong's bleeding, while Mr. Park yells at him for the car keys so he can drive Da-Song to the hospital. The key lands under the fighting Choong-Sook and Gyun-se before Choong-Sook kills Gyun-se. With a meat skewer, Mr. Park retrieves the key, while recoiling from Gyun-se's poor man's smell. Ki-Taek, witnessing Mr. Park's reaction to the smell, as well as his own, snaps and fatally stabs Mr. Park, then flees. The ending is narrated by Ki-Woo, recounting that Ki-Jeong died from her wounds, while he required brain surgery and suffered a weeks-long coma. He and Choong-Sook went to trial and were sentenced to probation. Later, while watching the Park's mansion, Ki-Woo notices a light flickering in Morse code, a message from Ki-Taek, who managed to retreat into the bunker during the chaos and has been hiding from and living off the new owners. Ki-Woo promises that one day he will earn enough money to buy the house and free his father. Fantasizing about the day of their reunion, Ki-Woo ends his letter sitting in the shabby semi-basement apartment where the movie began.